guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, then hi, my name is Nandini and I am a rising junior studying journalism and dramatic writing at New York University. As you can probably tell from the title of this video, I'm going to deliberate whether I think I chose the right majors for myself at NYU. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Just to catch you guys up to speed, I did the IB Diploma program at Kodaikanal International School, which is a boarding school located in South India. I chose to do the IB program because alongside the AP program, it's highly recognized by foreign international universities, and I knew from a young age that I wanted to go and study in a foreign university, and it was also really highly accepted in the United States, which is the only country I ended up applying to for my undergrad program. So as a part of the IB program, you are supposed to pick a total of 6 subjects. 3 of them will be your higher level subjects or HLs, and 3 of them will be your standard level subjects or SLs. You basically put in more time and energy into your HLs over your SLs, and obviously your syllabus is also more lengthier for your HLs than your SLs. So for my HLs, I picked theatre, English and history, so you can already start to see that I'm more of a liberal arts, literature kinds of gal and not so much like a science-based one. And for my SLs, I picked Hindi, physics and math, and I had to pick these 3 because a choice of foreign language combined with a choice of science and maths is sort of mandatory for every IB taking person. The reason I tell you this is because I didn't sort of have a straight up mapped out plan of what I wanted to study at university. I didn't know which university I wanted to go to, what I would study there, and do X, Y, these things to become an engineer or a doctor. No, I didn't have any of that. I just knew that I wanted to do something in the artistic and literature based field. I knew that by taking these subjects in high school, I would sort of lay the foundation of maybe what I wanted to study later at university. So I'm just going to be straight up honest with you all when I say this, that I applied to NYU and almost every other university that asked me to pick a major when I was applying for the undergraduate program as a history major. Why did I do this? I have no idea. Like I said previously, I probably didn't know what I wanted to study in the future. And when I was putting down history, I knew that I liked history as a subject and I wanted to study it, but I didn't know what kind of job prospects would come off that. So I was very unsure when I was doing this, but then I realized that you could always shuffle around with classes and switch your major at university. So I was like, okay, that's chill, I'm just gonna put down history for now. So after sorting through all the list of colleges that had accepted me, I decided after a week of deliberations that I probably wanted to attend NYU, and it was not sort of a very thought out decision. I was just I'll just go here, whatever. But the first thing I did after that was look up their history major, and I went to their website and started looking at all the previous courses they've offered in the fall and spring. And one pattern that I noticed was they offered a lot of American history kind of stuff. And even though I like history and I've studied a lot of world history as a part of the IB program, I am mostly very, very interested in Indian history, and I realized that NYU's courses in the history department didn't really cater to my niche interest, and that makes sense, but I was maybe I don't want to do this. And at that time I realized that maybe I would have to shuffle around with classes and then decide my major later when I actually started attending the university. So as I was thinking about, what kind of major I wanted to do, the first major that I landed on was actually journalism. And the reason I say that is because I've sort of always been interested in reporting and broadcasting and writing of sort of any kind. And you can see that with this YouTube channel. I like speaking in front of a camera. Obviously, the skills and the techniques used for journalism are very different than for content creation on YouTube, but a lot of the skills are also the same, how to present yourself and what kind of information and scripting and editing and stuff like that. And also I'm a big fan of writing of generally any kind. I was okay, maybe journalism is for me, so I decided to give that a try. But the problem was, my first semester at NYU, I was not able to take any journalism classes, and that's because all of them, even the most basic mandatory ones, you have to have taken a prerequisite class called writing the essay. It's basically the title says, it's writing the essay writing kind of class, but I still had 3 other classes to fill, because when you're at NYU, you're supposed to take 4 classes, which are, divided over 16 credits. You can also take 5, but the 5th one will be a 2-credit course, so a total of 18 credits. So basically I had 3 main classes that I still had to take to be a full-time student, and I decided to take an elective, which was basically studying the literature in the Middle East, and I decided to take 2 core classes. So as I've spoken about in some of my previous videos, the core basically at NYU is a set of mandatory liberal arts based and science based classes that everybody has to take. You get to pick and choose like what science you want to take or what kind of liberal arts or what class you want to take, but at least every College of Arts and Sciences student at NYU has to take the core in order to graduate, at least on time. So after that first semester, I started to take more journalism classes because I had finished writing the essay, I had gotten a good grade, and I was allowed to do so basically. And the next semester, I just took one journalism class, which was a basic mandatory class called Investigating Journalism that everybody had to take. So it's basically a class where you learn about the history of journalism, which is why I did not end up liking it that much, because we didn't do any practical writing or reporting in that class. And I don't really mind taking a history class in journalism. As you know, I'm a history geek, continue to be so, but I don't know if it was the professor or the content that we covered, but it was a very, very tedious, boring class. I did not like doing the readings for it. I did not like attending that long class. It was not it. But after that semester, I was like, maybe, one class can't like represent a whole major, right? So I was like, take 1 or 2 more classes and then decide whether you want to continue with journalism or not. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm so glad I did that, because the rest of the classes that I've taken so far have been just fantastic. The simple answer, if I regret taking journalism or not, is no. I don't regret taking journalism, because the classes, like I said, have been pretty fun, and I think one of the real gems of these classes is their professors. They're all really cool, super helpful, and they're mostly like, if you plan your schedule that way, which I advise any prospective NYU or current NYU students to do, is to take professors who are actually still working professional journalists in the field, because they come after a long day of work and they tell you about the newsroom experience, what kind of stories they're covering, and that sort of helps you get insight into the real industry, and you can start like picturing yourself in that place. I mean, obviously every person's experience is subjective, but you get what I'm trying to say. Other ways that I've sort of realized that journalism maybe is for me is by getting real world experience, which is like working in NYU's independent newspaper, Washington Square News, and also doing internships. Like this past year, I worked at a magazine called Youth Aspiring Magazines, which dealt with a lot of like mental health and Gen Z kind of reporting. And currently I write for Times Now, and I do a lot of like geopolitical to like even entertainment and climate change and science-based reporting. So I get to, dabble my foot in a lot of different things. And that has only sort of boosted my confidence in what I'm studying literally on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so journalism was an almost clear path for me. I knew I wanted to do it, and I did it. But my second major, dramatic writing, or the more formal, longer name, dramatic literature, theatre history and cinema, okay, I remembered it, that one was more of a wonky journey. So it started when I realized that at NYU, every student who's journalism major has to do another major as well, like it's mandatory. Why do they do this? I have a hypothesis for it, but we're not going to deliberate on that in this video. So basically, again, the same process. I opened up the NYU list of majors page or website or whatever it is it's called, and I started looking at different majors which would suit my interests. Now with journalism, a lot of people say that if you like it, you should pair it with like politics or international relations or maybe even economics, and I get all of that. They say that for a good reason. Even my parents and friends told me to do that, but again, I was not really interested in these subjects and American history and American politics. I was sort of just more interested in the craft of writing. So when it comes to writing, I thought of taking like creative writing or English literature. But then for some reason, I started thinking about dramatic writing or dramatic literature. And the reason I say that is because in high school, I was a big theater geek. Like I was in every production the school put up every semester. And in 12th grade, I also wrote a full-length play called The Trials of Honesty, which was produced and actually put up by my high school director for my high school. And when I thought back to this, I really enjoyed sort of the brainstorming and creating and crafting and writing process of my play. So I was like, maybe I should try out dramatic writing. So I knew like absolutely nothing, like just like a little bit of Shakespeare, and that too, like I'd read like 2 of his plays. I still haven't read Romeo and Juliet despite having done 2 years already in this major. But whatever, I'm not really a Shakespeare kind of person. Anyways, I didn't know much about this major when I decided to try it out, and it was very scary and daunting because to this day, all my classmates know way more than me when it comes to dramatic writing, the industry, the history. But with time, I've improved too with the right mentorship and stuff, and I've grown to like the major too. When it comes to like the practicality of the major, I don't know if I see myself as a playwright in the future, but I do know that I'm learning invaluable skills from this experience in this major, even probably more so than journalism. And the reason I say that is because if you've been following like my YouTube channel or my other social media pages, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, you'll know that my novel was published last year, Daughter of the Night. And a lot of the credit of that writing, and even if it's fiction, it actually goes to dramatic writing, because if you see my writing and the kind of reading I like to do too, I like to focus on writing that focuses on like the dialogue shared between the characters rather than sort of the dreary, long, over-detailed paragraphs. My mentor, he always tells me, you don't go to college to get a job, you go to college to get smart and then you can figure out after that. Now I know this quote, this sentiment, it might not relate to a lot of people, but it does relate heavily to me because I've seen a lot of people apply the same thing, and my sort of inner circle of people who I trust the most also agree with it. This sort of sentiment has been the overarching theme of my college journey so far. And I do acknowledge, like when I'm making this video, that everybody's journey is different. Everybody has different requirements and different needs, and everybody's in different situations. But one thing that I think stands true is that a lot of people don't actually end up doing jobs that relate to what they've studied, but their education always guides them in some form or way. So as long as you're getting like life skills, invaluable skills from whatever major you're doing, or you're actually getting practical skills, or you're getting like, you're just like enjoying what you're studying, I think that's what matters at the end of the day. I hope this sort of like rambly video helped you guys in some way, converted you, gave you direction, whatever it is. I know a lot of you guys send in like weekly questions about NYU, how to apply, how to choose a major, etc, etc. Please feel free to keep sending those. I love answering them and also get video ideas from them, which can help like a general, more bigger population. And if you guys like my channel, if you guys like my videos, if they're helpful in some form, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!